Prime-time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Yeehaw, Calgary Stampede fans. That is our question of the day on this week's Friday cast. Josh Ryan, Abby St. John, who's not a fan of my inauthentic attempts to stay Western for the show, but that's okay. There's plenty more of that ahead, along with your news, weather, and more. As we said off the break, the question of the day is whether or not you're going to the Calgary Stampede this year, but also if you're going, what are you most looking forward to? Neither of us are going to be attending this year.
None, no. I don't really have an interest in going, but I know my sister's gone past couple years and she said it's always been fun, and she's there right now actually, so it should be good.
Yeah. Back as a kid, I know I enjoyed it, but that was many eons ago. And speaking of ease, Eric Bay is out on location today.
Thanks, guys. Well, today we made the trip down to Edgerton to check out the Edgerton Sports Days, a huge event here for the town going on all throughout this weekend. So today we are going to be talking about what it means for the town and preview a little bit of what you can come out here, check out. They do have the Bulls coming up tonight. They also do have some heritage and history going on at the museum as well, so you can learn a little bit about the history of the town if you do come out here. But before all that, we're going to go back into the studio where Abby is going to take a look at your local news.
Well, summer is finally here, and so are the mosquitoes. In the warmer months, the West Nile virus is more active, and there is a higher possibility that you may become infected from the virus. The disease is carried from birds to mosquitoes, which is how it infects people. Typically, if you are infected by the West Nile virus, you are unaware.
8 out of 10 people doesn't know that they are suffering from West Nile virus. Out of 1 of 5 people will ended up in like a fever, and like they have a headache, they have a tiredness, they do have like a muscle body ache, nausea, vomitings, like that too.
There is no cure for the virus currently, as no vaccination or medication are available for the virus. Keeping lawns and yards in good shape, in addition to hedges and trees, are some other non-typical ways to reduce your exposure to mosquitoes. Making it a habit to avoid mosquitoes might be your best chance.
Have an insect repellent when they go outside. They do wear the long shirts, long pants. They use that 10 to 30% DET approved by the Canadian government for the insect repellents. Make sure their homes and the offices are protected from the screen of the mosquitoes.
Regularly cleaning and empty containers which collect water is another way to keep them away. If you have any irregular symptoms from a mosquito bite, be sure to contact your pharmacist or doctor right away. Millions of Canadians are diagnosed with diabetes and struggle with the disease for most of their lives, but local survivor Cody Perez has managed to combat the illness with healthy lifestyle changes. Armali Stogring reports.
But when I went to the doctor and they told me I was a type 2 diabetic, I didn't know how to handle it.
Cody worked on the road, making weight management extremely difficult.
I gained probably about 100 pounds when I switched from working on a service rig to driving truck. It was doing a lot of damage to me that I didn't know about. So I started to get heavy, and then as my jobs changed and I got a little bit less active, then I started to kind of balloon, right?
Cody struggled for years as it was a challenge to maintain a healthy diet.
So I was always eating all the wrong stuff, whether it be fast food, energy drinks, lots of sugar.
Too much good sugar is not good for the body. Too much low sugar is not good for the body.
Diabetes never keeps him down as he continues to exercise and tries to live a healthier lifestyle.
So one day, after this diagnosis, after the depression kind of lifted a little bit, I just decided, no, I'm going to fight for my life. I'm not going to lay here and die like this, right? And I did 1 lap up the driveway and back. As the days progressed, I got a little bit further around the yard. I was out on acreage, and so I got up to the point where I could walk a full lap around the acreage. And I just kept on pushing myself to get up once a day, right?
The challenges he faced only made him stronger.
Rode a bike, a pedal bike again, for the first time since I was a kid. Went swimming in a pool, right? I was too ashamed to go in a swimming pool. I didn't like people seeing me with a shirt off, or, you know, like all that stuff. I'm sure lots of people understand that part of the struggle, right? I felt embarrassed, and now I don't have to feel like I can go anywhere I want and do anything I want. And life is beautiful.
Molly Stogan, Primetime Local News.
Well, it's not far-fetched to say that parades are an inviting spectacle that bring many people together from all backgrounds. This year's Colonial Days Parade aims to do exactly that. However, there is a new route this year.
We're just excited for a great year, another great parade, and we hope that people will come out.
The Colonial Days Parade is switching lanes as its new path takes it to 50th Street, down 55th Ave, over 56th Street, and up 59th Ave. This route seems to be the best in the eyes of the organizers.
Now it's time to head to the exhibition grounds to get the full fair experience.
Sometimes we do changes to the route because of construction. So last year we had a lot of downtown construction, so we had to really adjust our route. So we're trying to get a better route that we hopefully don't have to change in the future. And we think that this big square type route will work.
The parade already has upwards of 75 groups and floats taking part and welcomes others that want to join in the festivities.
Today is our deadline. However, if somebody thinks over the weekend they want to throw a float in the parade, give us a call. We'll fit you in.
To reserve a spot in the parade, you can call 306-825-5571 to get yourself into the lineup. Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Once again, we are back here out in Edgerton, and Wes Laporte with the Village of Edgerton joins me now. And now we are talking here about Edgerton Sports Day. So you can tell us about the event that's going on here over the next 3 days and the impact it does have on the town.
So yeah, Sports Days is a huge event for the community. Officially, Edgerton has a population of 425 over the course of this weekend. A conservative estimate would say we're looking at about 1,500 people coming in. Biggest event would be tonight, Bullrama, kicks off at 7 p.m. We're looking 500-600 there. And so if you scale that up to something like City of Lloydminster, roughly 30,000 population, you do the math, it's a huge event for us. So.
No, for sure. Yeah, you do mention that impact and how it's growing to, kind of 3 times the size, about, give or take. So what's kind of the impact again on the people of town, the business and stuff, when all those people are coming in for a great event like this? Yeah, so first things first is everyone tries to make sure everything's looking their best. All the businesses are, cleaning their windows, new coat of paint. It's a huge economic bonus for them to have this many people come to town. And, it's just a lot of fun. Everyone contributes, everyone benefits. It's a real community effort, and that's kind of one thing I could say about Edgerton is, push come to shove, people come out and the community chips in and everyone benefits, and it's a lot of fun. Awesome. Thank you for doing this. We're going to have some more from back here in Edgerton talking about the Edgerton Sports Days, which will be going on here over the next 3 days. But first, we are going to go back into the studio.
As you can see here, 19 degrees makes it a very steady week in terms of weather in Lloydminster. 19, 18, 19, 18. Until we get a good plus 25, it won't feel like summer is properly here yet. A little bit of sun and cloud today. Not as much sun as yesterday, unfortunately, but still enough that people can enjoy the outdoors. Still not quite what we want for July. 31 back in 2006, 6 in 1990. What a bummer that would have been. 1990. Again, here you can see satellite radar. The cloud cover certainly covered through the Midwest region, so we missed out on some precipitation that did go through Edmonton earlier in the past week. Now looking at watches and warnings, nice to see, nothing to report. Air quality has been good, and we don't have any thunder showers specifically to warn about at the moment, but that will be something to keep an eye on over the next 2 days still, as there's a chance of thunder showers coming. The chance of precipitation, though, has gone down for Saturday, which should be good news to many people who are planning to spend the day out at the lake or who plan on traveling. 25% chance at the moment. High of 22 and a low of 12 are the expected temperatures, with wind coming out of the east-southeast. So that's certainly an improvement on the initial forecast for Saturday. However, we're still expecting cloud cover, rain, maybe some thunder showers the next 2 days. 22 on Sunday and 18 and 12 to finish off your 3-day on Monday.
Welcome back. Well, there's concerns about what to do with this year's canola harvest. It comes on the heels of a ban on exports to China. As Global's Sarah Comadina reports, farmers are now desperate for other buyers.
Alberta Canola Chair John Gilly says the crop is close to halfway to harvest, and in central Alberta, it's faring well.
Crops in our area are looking really well, actually. We are a little dry getting started, but we've had lots of rain in the last couple of weeks and could use some heat now.
But it won't be good if the heat isn't turned down between Canada and China. Earlier this year, the country banned exports from Canada. 40% of canola sales depend on China's buy.
About 2.7 billion Canadian in a year, and now it's been seed issue and it's becoming more of an oil issue. We haven't had any new oil sales since early March, so that tacks about another 1.1 billion onto it.
China has banned Canadian pork and beef as well.
Well, it's unfair that farmers would have to bear the brunt of this if it is a political issue.
That's why the Alberta government held a barbecue Wednesday to show its support for producers.
And so hopefully when they go to the grocery store, they can try to find that made in Alberta and buy Alberta beef and pork and canola products.
Premier Jason Kenney stressed the importance of expanding Canadian exports.
The government of Alberta is so committed to diversifying our export markets. We cannot allow ourselves to be overly dependent on one or two major markets.
Some of those markets include Europe and Pakistan, but they still wouldn't fill the void left by China.
When farmers suffer, the rural communities suffer.
As for Gilly, the best case scenario would be for China to open the gates before harvest.
We're certainly going to have some storage issues, where to put that crop this year. Elevators will be full and it's going to be tough to find a home for it all. So it's not a great situation.
Their gut feeling, relief could be a long time coming. Sarah Comadina, Global News.
And that's all for eggs. Sports is next, but first, here's a look at your egg prices.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Centre Auto Body.
The Border City Blue Jays and the Lloydminster Twins wrapped up their regular season schedules last night with an all-Lloydminster showdown. Coming into last night, the two teams had not faced each other this season, and as our Josh Park reports, whenever these two squads get together, friends become competitors and city bragging rights come center stage.
It was the season finale for both the Twins and Jays down at Legion Ballpark last night. And even with playoff implications on the line for the Twins, neither story took center stage. It was the hometown battle of two Lloydminster teams that caught the eye of the fans and the players. A friendly rivalry between many former teammates and lifelong competitors.
Oh yeah, I grew up playing baseball with a lot of those guys. You know, I love them, and you know, it's a great rivalry on the field as well, but yeah, no, it's always good to play those guys.
Yeah, I've played with a few of them growing up. Kostaski brothers, I've played with them for a few years. There's a lot of new faces over there I haven't seen, but Brett and Cole Kostaski, I've played with them for years. They're good friends of mine.
Even with the friendships that go beyond the diamond, there's still an added motivation to win, especially playing friends and the other team in town.
I think it's a rivalry because we live so close. We know the guys, they know us, so we've seen them a lot over the years. So there's always a rivalry when you know somebody. You don't want to lose to them.
I got lots of friends on that team. They come up to bat, I chat them up, you know, but I hope we strike them out, but it doesn't always go that way.
In the lone meeting of the season between the two squads, it was the Blue Jays that came out on top with a 7-6 walk-off win. With the victory, the Jays finished the season with a perfect 13-0 record and heavy momentum heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. It's always nice to end the season on a win. You don't want to go in on a loss, but yeah, next week playoffs start and new season starts.
It feels great. I mean, it's nice not to lose. Everyone hates losing, so to go undefeated feels good.
As for the Twins, they now finish in the 5th spot and will take on the Macklin Lakers in the opening round. The first round of the playoffs begin on Monday, July 8th. Josh Park, Primetime Local Sports.
Now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
We are back here once again in Edgerton today, talking about the Edgerton Sports Days, which will be happening starting today and going on throughout the weekend. And I'm joined now by Glenna Crinble, who is with the Edgerton Sports Association. So first, can you tell us a little bit about what you guys do have going on tonight? I know you do kick off with the Bulls here at 7.
Yeah, for sure. So gates open here at 5:30. We're going to have beef on a bun, and then we will have the Bullarama, wild pony races, rank mini ponies, and fireworks to end it all tonight.
And now for those fireworks as well, when can people check those out? What time will they be happening?
They'll be happening at dusk, so 10:30.
Whenever the weather cooperates, obviously. And now you guys do have, again, this is all going on throughout the entire weekend. So what do you start off? I know you kick off bright and early with some pancake breakfast. You can tell us a little, again, what people can expect here on Saturday.
Saturday we'll have pancake breakfast. We'll have some fair exhibits at the Egg Hall. We'll have some stuff going on at the museum. We'll have a Bunnock tournament here at the sports grounds. We'll have some ball, barrel races, pole bending, all sorts of stuff like that.
And now obviously right here we are at the Ag Grounds. No, you're doing perfect. So we're here at the Ag Grounds now, but you did mention there's stuff going on at the Ag Hall all around town. So do people need to purchase tickets as well if they are wanting to go visit the Ag Hall and stuff like that? Or how can they get in to check out those exhibits as well?
Well, they'll be charged upon entry, and same with coming down to the sports grounds. And tonight for the Bullarama, I should mention that we can get tickets at the gate tonight.
All right, sounds good, awesome. And now also we talked again, this is a big event, huge for Edgerton. So can you tell us a little bit about the planning process and the work that went on in putting this event in together here for this town?
For sure. So we start planning this event last year after the last event, and it's a lot of man hours, it's a lot of volunteers, and if it wasn't for them, this weekend wouldn't go on. And I definitely would like to say thank you to all of our sponsors and the volunteers as well.
No, for sure. Thank you for doing this and telling us a little bit more about Edgerton Sports Days here coming up. We're going to have some more from back here in Edgerton, again, talking about the sports days going on all weekend that you can come out and check out. But first, we are going to go back into the studio.
Sounds like people there in the Stampede spirit. That just obviously got underway this week. Will go on for the next 10 days, and we'll sure to have more from the radio side of things with Greg Buchanan and more on hand there live on location. Now, satellite and radar showing, again, low pressure system making its way past on the Edmonton side of things, but outside of that, some fairly clear skies through much of the region, especially when you look at the Lakeland region today. A little bit of cloud cover in Lloydminster and then east of Lloydminster into Maidstone and North Battleford, but no precipitation, fortunately, for those of us in the border city. Now, your heat index for the next 24 hours, things again should drop down to single digits or close to single digits through a chunk of the evening, but it's also going to be a relatively warm night sky there. So around 11 degrees, maybe we'll get a low of 9. And then we were right back up to near 20 degrees tomorrow through an early section of the afternoon. Not as warm as some other regions, but still warmer than what we've been getting thus far this month. Now, 22 degrees is the high right now in Marwayne, as well as the same in St. Paul, 19 in Vegreville, 20 out in Edmonton, and 21 in Lac La Biche. Out on the Sask side of things, Meadow Lake and St. Walburg and Green Lake all sitting around 23, 22 degrees. Same in Isle Across as well, and Maidstone. Guess what? 23 degrees as well in that region to the south, both Provost and Mackland, just a couple of degrees warmer. It's actually, in fact, warmed up a few degrees over the past hour in both our region as well as in the Battlefords and the Lakeland area. 20 right now in North Battleford with easterly winds there. 10 is the expected low overnight where they could get some moisture. 24 expected tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud and southeast winds. So should be a nice day out in the Battlefords. In Cold Lake, 19 degrees with a low of 11 expected. Largely cloudy skies once again for the next 24 to 48 hours as the wind shifts between the northwest and the east-southeast. Again, a high of 21 expected tomorrow there. Now here in Lloydminster, 19 degrees, 12 overnight with a high of 22 expected tomorrow. Again, largely cloudy skies, though we've had some sun today. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of that in the morning before the heavier cloud cover comes in later on in the evening. Again, east-southeast winds expected in our region. Now the 7-day forecast, 22 expected over the next 2 days, though again there's a chance of thunder showers on Sunday, less likely on Saturday. 18 on Monday where there could be some precipitation yet and a low of 12. Then 19 on Tuesday with a low of 9, 24 on Wednesday, and 10, and then 23:12 on Thursday, 22:10 on Friday. And again, later on in the week it goes, the sunnier it gets. So that might be the best time to take out the boat and go out to the lake. And that's it for your 7-day. We'll have more later on in the show. Well, despite my weak attempt at some Stampede spirit, it doesn't seem like many of you share that, as most people are not going to the Calgary Stampede this year. That was only half, of course, of the question of the day. The other half was, what do you look forward to most about it? And Galen Merle, she did say that they were on their way and that they're looking forward to both the rides and the food. So not necessarily even this Stampede, the events and such, but just the general festivities around it. So.
Yeah, which is nice because not everyone enjoys like the Stampede style, you know, the horses and the rodeo and stuff like that. But at least if they have rides and carnival food, that would suffice for people who aren't really into the rodeo kind of stuff.
And then you add in, of course, the fireworks and whatnot as well. Yeah. There's plenty to be had there. Now, I used to live outside Calgary, so I do remember going to it. The favorite part for me was, in fact, the arcade center.
Okay.
So if you were a little of a nerd, you could definitely just go out and game the whole time.
Definitely. Well, I've never been to the Stampede, and I don't really have an urge to ever go, but as I said earlier, my sister has gone a couple years, and she's there right now, and she says she's always had a fun time. So, I mean, seems like a lot of people really enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it draws millions of people every year, so
yes.
They must be doing something right, certainly.
Exactly.
One thing I believe we generally do right is our Pet of the Day contest. So let's dive right in. Moose.
Oh,
that is a submission by Shauna.
That's a great start.
A great start to the summer for Moose, obviously.
Great start to this Pet of the Day.
And now, speaking of great, that is a great hat that Nova is wearing. Thank you, Ryan, for that submission.
Adorable dog.
I sign off on that hat. And we have, next is Sheba.
Oh my goodness, that is adorable. Just squished up.
Is it weird that I used to do that as a kid?
A little. But it's adorable that the dog's doing it.
Less adorable for me. Next, we have Buddy, who is very serious for this well-taken photo.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous photo. I love the black and white.
And then that's Colette, of course, with the submission.
Adorable dog.
And finally, Homie to round things off. We had to have at least one cat on there.
Yes, of course, and it's a gorgeous cat. Beautiful big green eyes.
Yeah, and big whiskers as well. Remember, folks, you can always win a free gift card from PetPad. You just have to give yourself a chance by sending a picture of the pet along with the name.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the PetPad.
Today I'm joined here with Constable Michael Hagel, and today we're going to be talking about ways that kids and young adults and even older adults can stay safe during the summer. So thank you for coming in and chatting with me about this subject. As it is summer and school's officially done with, you know, people will be seeing a lot more kids on the playground, riding their bikes and stuff. So what are some ways that kids themselves can keep themselves safe while playing on the playground, in the fields, riding their bikes?
First and foremost, helmets. Helmets are the most important safety feature we have on bicycles. It's like putting a seatbelt on when you get into a car. Put that helmet on your head. That's my biggest safety tip for children right now when they ride their bicycles.
And what should drivers kind of be aware of when they're, you know, driving past those neighborhoods, or even, you know, a kid rides their bike coming out of nowhere? What should they, you know, always have in the back of their head?
Make sure you're watching those playground zones. Maintain that 30-kilometer-an-hour speed limit. Take an extra 2 seconds to that stop sign. Look left, look right, look left again. Make sure there's no cars coming, because kids, as we all know, are fast on those bicycles and they're not watching for cars. So it's important that as adults driving cars, we're watching out for those children.
And since, you know, the nights are kind of more bright, closer like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it's still pretty light out, and so there'll still be kids outside playing. And if they're not super visible once it gets dark, what should they be aware of, as well as other drivers? Well,
if you decide to ride your bike at night, wear reflective clothing of some sort. Constable Kersinger and I, when we ride our bikes at night, we have our big, bright green jackets. They stand out very well. I'm not telling people to wear jackets like that,
Yeah.
but wear something that's reflective so you can be seen when you're riding your bicycle. And again, same rules apply for cars. Slow down a little bit. It's not a race. Your destination will be there when you get there. Just take those extra couple seconds and look at stop signs.
And summer is also a big time for barbecues and parties, and you know, people are like obviously enjoying themselves and having a good time at those. What should they, you know, always be cautious about when going home or at, you know, staying at a party?
We're at that summertime, the barbecue season's upon us, right? Everyone likes having a couple of cold beers before they go home or at the barbecue. If you do decide to have a couple of drinks, make sure you plan a safe ride home. There's lots of cab companies in town. You can walk, you can ride your bicycle. Just don't drive. Make that smart decision.
And I guess, what are the consequences for those who do decide to get behind the wheel while they've had a few drinks?
Well, it's a criminal offense. Cannabis and alcohol carry the same kind of penalties. If you are caught driving, it's going to be at least a 1-year license suspension, plus your court fees, plus a fine.
And speaking of marijuana, it is one of the first summers where marijuana has been legalized. What should people be aware of, you know, because they can smoke recreationally outside in public? What should they be aware of, especially in like maybe even around kids or at parties?
It's important that cannabis usage is the same as cigarettes. You can't smoke cigarettes or cannabis inside any kind of public parks. Nothing in Bud Miller, nothing at the playgrounds. Make sure you are being a little cognizant of where you're smoking your cannabis as well, because it does smell, and some kids don't want to be exposed to that.
Yeah, and so I guess with cannabis and alcohol and stuff like that, if someone is have put themselves in a situation that could get them hurt or others hurt, what would you recommend the best course of action to maybe even avoid doing that?
Just make that smart decision.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to tell people not to smoke cannabis, we're not to drink, but make that right decision. Use your head a little bit. Make that right call. You know what? I smoked a little bit of cannabis today. I probably shouldn't be driving my car. I'll leave my keys at home, or I'll get a designated driver to drive me home.
Well, perfect. Well, quickly, before we wrap up, if anyone has any concerns or questions just about if they've seen something that may be a little bit concerning, or they have anything to talk about, how can they get a hold of you?
We'd always recommend calling the detachment right away, 780-808-8400. Report impaired drivers. Let us know where they are. Let us know what kind of vehicle they're driving, what direction they're going. It's the best way we can catch them.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming
Yes.
in, and all these tips will definitely help people stay safe this summer, because
Thank you.
You know, we all want to enjoy our summer vacation
For sure.
safely.
For
so
sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Justin with Boom 1019 and 93.7 Win FM, and here's what's happening. This weekend is Edgerton Sports Days and Fair, which we are extremely excited about, so I hope you didn't put away your cowboy stuff from the Wainwright Stampede, because you're going to need it. Now, it's going down, like I said, Friday, July 5th to July 7th, and they have jam-packed as much as they can in these 3 days, so make sure you get out there and check that out. You got the Bull-O-Rama and the fireworks happening Friday. Plus, Friday night's 50-50 draw is starting at $250, so make sure you get your ticket for that. Saturday and Sunday, you're going to start the day with the pancake breakfast. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff, and then you're going to end the day with the chariots and the chucks. Once again, I'm excited for this. We're going to be there, so make sure you come hang out, because that's going to be a good one. Then, after that, Friday, July 19th, you have another fantastic Bull-O-Rama going down. It's the Star Lake Bull-O-Rama, and it is happening at 7 p.m. But before that, they got the beer gardens, they got the wild pony races, and then after the Bull-O-Rama, there's going to be a dance to really tie things up and bring it all full circle. So make sure you bring the family out. That is going to be a terrific time. Once again, the Star Lake Bull-O-Rama is Friday, July 19th. And then, of course, register your teams for IRMA Summer Spiel. That's going down July 30th to August 5th in, of course, IRMA. You can register your teams at irmasummerspiel.com. Slow pitch, curling, and all that fun stuff. I'm Justin with Boom 1019 and 93.7 Win FM, and that's what's happening.
Today I'm joined here with Jackie Weed. She is from Big Brothers Big Sisters, and today we're going to be talking about their 25th anniversary that's coming up, plus the summer programs that the kids at the agency can get involved in this summer. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for inviting
and
us.
explaining me. First off, what are the summer programs that the kids at Big Brothers Big Sisters can enjoy this summer?
So we do have a summer program for kids that have joined the agency. So they need to be 6 and gone through all the paperwork and the criteria of being accepted to have a big brother or a big sister. And then it's a waitlist program. So after they've joined, while they're waiting to have a big, or once they're matched, then they can access the summer program. And so they're with us in July and August during the day for 3 full days a week. And we just go out in the community and do field trips, we go swimming, we're very active, and we try to be outside as much as we can.
And why is it important for those kids to be able to go out into the community and, you know, do all these activities?
For the kids that are attending our summer program, it's an opportunity to develop new interests, so things they might not have thought of doing before, make them aware of what's out in the community, and also to receive that positive mentoring during the day from the mentors and the staff that are at the program, and they're doing something constructive.
And have you noticed that throughout the years, like with kids participating in the summer programs, have you seen like a change in, you know, the way they gravitate towards a certain activity, or
we've seen a few that after we've done summer program, then they've taken lessons in the fall in that particular activity or area that interested them, so that's nice to see that it carries through then. So we are sparking some imagination and some interest.
Which is always awesome. You know, you bring a kid to one activity and it's just something will turn and they will, that's awesome. And especially at a young age, like 6 years old, they're still developing what they like and what their interests are. So having these different activities definitely obviously helps with their developmental stages.
Yeah, and they're ages 6 to 12, and so as they get older, then they can maybe look for things that they're going to do in school as well. So joining some of the teams in school and things like that. So all of our programs are a great benefit to the kids that are part of the agency.
And with your 25th anniversary coming up, what's going to happen at the Big Brothers Big Sisters?
So this year we're celebrating the we've been in Lloydminster for longer than 25 years, but we're celebrating the 25th anniversary since Big Brothers and Big Sisters amalgamated to become one organization. So we're right now just getting ready. We are going to have a celebration. We're kind of celebrating in the fall. And so we're just looking for past bigs, board members, parents, children to get in touch with us so that we can include them in our celebration. So we're going to be looking for people to help celebrate by becoming a volunteer, joining us in different events that we're going to be having. So it's just fun to be able to celebrate 25 years of mentoring in Lloydminster.
And what can people expect with the event to celebrate the quarter of a century?
Right, so we're going to be having a couple different events. We're still kind of working out what we're going to be doing, but it will recognize the past as well as where we're going in the future.
And if anyone new wants to become a big brother or big sister, or even just volunteering at any thing, how can they get involved?
All people need to do, whether they're past, present, or future volunteers, or people that were involved, is just give us a call at the agency, 306-825-5757. Tell us what you're thinking or what's on your mind, whether you want to volunteer or you just want to touch base and say, I used to be involved, and we'll figure out the path that we need to get you on.
Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much for coming in and explaining both the summer programs for kids and the 25th anniversary. That's really exciting.
It is exciting.
Big milestone, which is awesome. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Once again, we are back out here in Edgerton. It is fair season and festival season out here. Summer weather, it's been great here at Edgerton Sports Days, which is kicking off today here at 7 o'clock. They will be starting with that Bull-A-Rama. They're also having some fireworks tonight, and that is just the tip of the iceberg as it goes on this entire weekend. We talked a little bit with Wes about how this event does expand. This town is fairly small, you know, about 425 people in the town, and it grows to 3 times that size. So it is a pretty big event and a great turnout for a town around this size. They do have tons of different stuff going on through the weekend. Pancake breakfast, chucks. They have the pole bending as well, so tons of different stuff to check out. And we are going to have a ton more from back here in the next hour. But first, we are going to go back to the studio, and Josh and Abby are going to wrap up the first hour of tonight's news.
Once again, as we look at our weekend forecast, it's going to be a little warmer than it has been the past couple of days, but plenty of cloud cover and still a strong chance of precipitation.